Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Zombie Gunship. So, I launched the game and this is the very first thing I see. A rare guaranteed 10% chance for epic or better deal. Now if I go to take me there, what do you know? Oh my god, it's $100 reduce. Maybe $50, maybe $20. But yes, microtransactions. Don't we love it, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my god, another ad welcome offer. 2,500 gold for just $10. Absolutely, what a deal, what a steal. Holy bejeebus. And here we're getting our... Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay. That's gonna take me 3 hours to unlock. Fantastic. Just what I love. Oh boy, my unclaimed... Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, my unclaimed reward. Can I not claim it yet? I totally could. Now, what about other things? Can I claim any of these? It says that I have new things that I could do, and I don't know. Oh, wow. Oh, hello. I haven't got the foggiest clue. Is this... Oh, wait. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the last time we were here, we were defending our base from a zombie horde. We were also attacking other bases. Well, that's all we do is attack bases. All we do is go, we blow up stuff, we kill zombies, and we upgrade our plane as we're doing right now. We're not necessarily upgrading, but we're just gathering free resources that the game gives us because why not YOLO? We're also not getting a whole terrible lot, unfortunately. More would be nicer, but, you know, 'tis be what it be. I think I got everything, maybe? Alright, well, let's go ahead and go blow some stuff up. Well, actually, hold on, before we do that, hold on. Oh, wow, we actually got a lot of gear. I don't need you. We're going to Gunship. Hold on, how do I do stuff again? Alright. Can I click this? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Very nice. Okay, cool. I'll worry about doing upgrades and whatnot later, because there you go, I just did all my upgrades. Alright, let's go ahead and get to war. Alright, so here we are. We're protecting our dudes. They're going into the building. Or they're already in there. They're gathering. There we go. Where's the key? There we go. Oh, no zombies yet. Okay. I appreciate that the minigun fires explosive rounds, like that just makes life a lot easier. I guess for general conversation, I'm just, yeah, coming up with stuff just to talk about, because I have nothing else to talk about until something actually kicks up with this game. But I was watching a video before, and I thought it was funny because it's about right on point. And it kind of sits in with what, you know, I think personally. But there's a dude, he's a veteran, and the joke was that it was like, it was different perspectives of things. It was civilian parents explaining firearms to their kids versus veteran parents. And his interpretation of civilian parents is like, okay, see this? There's a gun. It's like one of the big ones, and it's dangerous. You gotta stay away from the child. Stay away. But then his interpretation of veteran parents is like, yo, all right, check this out. There's a gun. All right, it's an object. So long as you don't do anything stupid with it, can't hurt you. Just don't do anything stupid with it. So the kid in this sorry. You see, that's what I'm saying. Don't do stupid stuff like that. That's how you fail gun safety. But Oh, I was gonna say. So the kid asks, but Dad, doesn't guns hurt people? He goes, no, this is an object. Guns can't hurt people. No, Daddy hurts people. I still don't know what. I think it's the channel is watching this guy Nico Ortiz. He seems like a really cool guy. I'm not sure what he's a vet, like which branch of the military he's a vet of. The way he talks, I want to say Army. I'm thinking he's between Army and Marines. I'm not entirely certain. I'm thinking more Marines, but yeah, no, about what he explains is right on point. I mean, I hate to say it, my cousins are the same way with that, where they see a firearm. It can literally just be sitting on a table, and they damn near have a panic attack. Now, mind you, they've never been in a situation where they were in danger or firearms were a concern. It's just because everyone says guns can be dangerous, they instantly believe that a firearm in front of them is dangerous. So it's like the argument of like, I have a pocket knife that I keep on me just in case, you know, God forbid, or, you know, if I just need to open up something. But it's similar to the point of like, okay, cool, so if I take my pocket knife, I open up my pocket knife, and then I just put it on a table, and just sitting there, nobody's touching it, can it hurt anybody? It's only dangerous when it's in the hands of an idiot, or somebody who's not mentally sound. I was trying to think of the right word. I'm like, what word is mentally sound? There you go. Now, am I mentally sound? I don't know. Maybe. I would hope so. Wait, what? Oh, hi. I didn't even see you guys there. Like, I probably mentioned this in one of my other videos, but like, people just drive you nuts. I have customers constantly come to my store. Now, we don't sell this brand because we're not this brand at all, but I don't want to say where I work, just, you know, private reasons. And you know how many times I've had people come to my store and go, do you have Uggs? I'm like, no, I'm just going to say a brand, we're Jordans. That's different brand. Oh! I look at these people, I'm like, why would we have that? You know what? Tell you what, I'm going to go to Apple and buy one of the new Google phones. Or you know what? I'm going to go to Wendy's and get myself a McRib. I'm trying to think of other brands of food. Hey, do you think Wendy's sells Arby's? I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe it's a corporation, right? Yeah. Like, I've never had people ask me, hey, do you sell the brand... I'm sorry, do you sell the item of another brand, of a competing brand? Never. Like, bro. For real? Like, if we were Macy's or Sears, okay, maybe. They're just a general retailer, right? They don't... I'm sure they have their own brand of stuff, but like, they would sell, you know, a little bit of everybody, because that's just them. I don't really think. I mean, who are they really in competition with, Macy's? I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Penny's. I don't know if they sell the same stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, it's a lapse in logic from people that I just question, and. Yeah, no, people drive you nuts. Yeah, I can at the very least say that while I think I'm mentally sound, and I would never hurt anybody, people do push you. They definitely push you. Oh, you know how many times I've had people jump back and forth with shoe sizes as of recent. Can I get the size 8? Oh, what about a size 9? Can I go to 8.5? You know what? 7.5. I'm like, bro. After like the second or third shoe, you should already know what, like, why are you going backwards when you've gone forward? Like, what are you doing? Some people have driven me up a wall where I go up to my coworkers, I'm like, yo, I'm going to jail tonight. And they're like, what do you mean you're going to jail? I'm like, I'm going to jail because I'm beating somebody with a shoe. This old lady is talking smack. I'm gonna beat her with a shoe. She wants a size 8 boot, she's gonna get a size 8 boot up her rear end. That's what's about to happen. Now, yes, it's all in humor, but it's all jokes. But yeah, no, like, I've learned, honestly, like, I've been in customer service about 7, maybe 8 years now, right? And in my 7 years, there has never been a such thing as the easy job in customer service. When you're in customer service, it's not easy. It's never easy. There are easier aspects in one place than another, but it's never easier.
Feeling kind of funny about this one.
Right? Like, I used to work at GameStop, as I've said time and time again. And you will, like, I thought that going to a shoe store would be easier. Like, oh, sales figures are going to be nothing. I'm not going to have to worry about numbers anymore. It's fantastic. And if I do, it's going to be minimal. And I was right. It is significantly easier when it comes to numbers. What I wasn't expecting is the degradation of human logic. What in the name of God is that? We found the Hulk, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's a biggie. And he can just smash things. Alright, I don't know how much damage I can actually do to this thing. Like, let me explain something to you guys, alright? My first job ever. I was working in an indoor amusement park for about $6 an hour back when I was 17, right? From there, I almost, like, legitimately died once or twice because one of the rides, I didn't realize this, was taken off the rails for maintenance. No one had said anything. There was no sign of anything. Like, there was no tools around. There was no gears or anything on the floor that would imply that there was any maintenance being done. And of course no one cared to tell me, hey Nick, yeah, so there's stuff being worked on. No one told me this. No idea. Right? So I go to put these kids on the ride, and I'm not thinking anything of it. Average day, it's slow, it's a summer day. Kids are, kind of coming and going. And I throw the kids on the ride. It's my first shift. I'm sorry, this is my first group of kids in the day. And again, just going through the motions. Kid on the ride, make sure the buckle's on. Warm up the ride to get ready to roll. My boss hears it getting ready. He comes down and starts freaking out. And he's like, you just nearly died. I'm like, excuse me? I find out that the ride was disconnected from the rails, and if it had gone at full speed, it would have ripped off the rails and killed everybody in that room, including myself. I would not be talking to you right now if that were the case. We've had power outlets hanging out of the walls. This was not a place that focused on safety, let me assure you. What else did we have problems with this place? For some reason, kids would always throw their shoes from the top of one of the rides. Like, it was like this one ride that was like, I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. Like a parasol ride, sort of, where you just sat in a seat and it, took you, like, it lifted you up a little bit. You went maybe like 10 feet off the ground. Like, it was a height that you could jump from, and so long as you didn't do anything stupid on your way down, you should have been fine, basically. Anyway, so this little rocket scientist decides, oh wait, no, that did actually happen though. I had a kid jump off the airplane ride. That's what I was going to talk about, the little rocket scientist. Anyway, no. So that kid's actually a different story. So I had a group of kids from like a camp, like a children's camp. They came in and the kids wanted a ride on the airplane. So I'm like, all right, cool. I load them up, and little rocket scientist decides to jump off the plane. He jumped right out. And I didn't know he was doing this until I heard the camp counselor screaming, and they came up to me and apologized, and I'm like, is he okay? Like, I don't know why you're apologizing to me. Is he okay?
Stay close, stay safe.
It was fine. Oh god, we had this thing, it was like a jungle gym called a maze, and kids would just generally climb around in it. They'd, crawl around. And, oh good lord, was that a nightmare in of itself. Because, how many times I'd go in there, there'd be band-aids, there'd be puke. I remember I crawled in a puddle of urine once. Yeah, that was fun. No, it wasn't. I hated that day. It was miserable. I remember I used to hate dealing with the children's camps because the kids were just always so wild, right? And during one of these days, I happened to get the day off, so I didn't have to deal with the camp. I was like, yes, I can skip these kids. I don't have to deal with them. Fantastic.
We got everything.
So I kind of felt like I got away with murder. The owner tells me, hey, Nick, I need you to go clean out the maze. Just, here's a bag. Just pick up stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Climbing around the maze. And I find, like, a puddle of vomit. Day old vomit. It reeked. You could smell it from the other side of the maze. I crawl around. I found it. I tell my coworker, I'm like, bro, this is gross. This freaking puke in the maze. I almost said mucus. Oh my, bro, there's mucus in the mucus. My God, there's puke in the maze. And he looks at me and goes, oh, you found it. I found it. What scavenger hunt in hell did I win? That's not something I wanted to find. How did you not find it? It was right there at the slide. He's like, oh. Well, you found it. You clean it. I'm like, screw you. So, I had to clean that. So that was my first job, right? And then after that, I thought, hey, you know, it'd be great not having to deal with kids anymore. Let's deal with pets. Let's go work in animal care. I will never have to operate another ride in my life. I will never have to deal with another child in my life. It will be simple. I go to register. I click buttons. I sell pets and food, and you get the hell out of my store. Fantastic. That's what I thought. You know what I forgot? No, you probably aren't thinking of either. And I didn't think of this. Crazy cat ladies. Holy God. You don't even crazy cat ladies. Just crazy people in general. I remember one time we're closing. I'm just waiting for this one woman to leave. I want to go home. It's late. We're like 5 minutes to closing. I'm just sitting there. When I say crazy, I mean, this lady was nuts. I hear her off in the distance on the other side of the building. I hear her go, God is good. God is good. And I'm like, what the okay. So I walk over. I'm like, ma'am, do you help? Where's the cat litter? Oh, it's right over there. Okay, good. God is good. God is good. I'm like, okay. Somebody's having some kind of emotional crisis. Okay. So I go up to my boss and I'm like, hey, bro, you here? Apparently God's good. He's like, yeah, I know her. She's not exactly all there. I'm like, no kidding, really. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Oh, I had this one woman that drove me nuts. Every time she came in, I would try to avoid her because she just annoyed the hell out of me. It was just stupid stuff that she would say that I never understood why she was saying it in the first place. Like, I remember I'm dealing with her, and every other word out of her mouth was, you heard? But it's like, that was like the only word she knew. And that's why it annoyed me. I'm like, you can't, every other word was that. So I remember she goes, how did she put it? I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. She was like, yeah, I want to put that fish in with the rest of my tank because, yeah, I like that one. You heard? I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, if they mess with him, yeah, because he's a small one, beat him up. You heard? Uh-huh.
We're going in.
Yeah, I gotta toughen him up so that way he can fight back. You heard? I'm like, okay. Like, seriously, every other word out of this woman's mouth is gonna be... And on top of that, she needed very specific fish. Like, you'd have two fish that looked exactly the same, but she would notice maybe one's slightly bigger, or one was a slightly darker shade, or a lighter shade. I'm like, some of these fish are very aggravating to catch. So can you imagine a customer wanting fast fish, and a specific one at that? Wouldn't be happy with the one that you got. No. It had to be the very specific, slightly differently shaded one. Like, that was annoying. Then I remember I had a crazy cat lady get mad at me because I opened a box of food on her. Now, I want to make this clear. When I say I opened the box of food, it wasn't like I opened a cereal box on a customer, right? Not at all. Think of a carton of food, right? Like a carton of cat food. And in this carton, there is small, individually packaged, I guess you could say soup packets, if you want to call them that. And these individual packets are the individual meals themselves. Typically, we would sell these packets individually, but she wanted the whole box, which we could sell her the entire box. We could. But I needed something to scan off of it, and I didn't see the barcode on the box itself. So I go ahead and I open the box, and she gets mad. She goes, "I wanted that one because it wasn't open. Thanks a lot." And I'm like, I'm looking at her. I'm like, this doesn't change anything. Like, the food is still sealed. Like, you're not, you know, you're not like losing anything. I didn't like taint the food. Like, your cat's gonna be fine. Now, other than those little annoyances, like, I accepted the job for what it was. It was okay. I ended up losing my job because the store ended up closing because of corporate. They didn't want to renew the lease, so we ended up all losing our jobs. I, from there, went from pet supplies to Petco and GameStop at the same time. The things I had to deal with at Petco, I never had to deal with at pet supplies. Again, crazy cat people. For some reason, being that we were at a strip mall, I would deal with very aggravating children every now and then. Like, you would have groups of kids come in thinking they're funny, harass the animals, and we'd have to kick them out. I had one woman tap on the glass of my fish tanks that I was working on, and I'd be like, "Man, please, you know, don't tap on the glass. It stresses out the fish. That will mess with them when they go to eat." Rather than just saying I'm sorry or, "Oh, okay, I'll avoid it." You know, the normal human reaction. She scoffs at me and she goes, "Huh, fish psychology." I'm like, "It's not fish psychology. That's just not being stupid." Like, what? Clearly you've never cared for a fish, or you were like that girl in Finding Nemo who ended up killing her fish, or thinking the fish was dead. Anyway. From there on, what else did I deal with at the job? Oh, we would have boxes of canned cat food, right? And it would be a variety pack of cat food. It'd be a variety pack. So you'd get maybe total of 12 cans with 3 cans in each. 3 flavors of each, right? But for some reason, if we didn't have those individual flavors that these people wanted, they would open up the individual boxes and bring them up to the, so say they wanted, I don't know, what's a cheese and fish, because I think that was one flavor, right? And it wasn't on the shelf individually, so they see it in a box. Well, rather than buying the whole box, they'll just open the box and buy that one thing. Yes, we technically sell them in both ways, but we sell them in either the box or the individual packets. So now what happens is, yes, we made money on that one individual can, but what we have to do is now we have to shrink out the whole box. We have to take the loss on the box and now input the new inventory, that being the rest of the cans that this customer left. And this was very aggravating because we might go over or under certain SKUs. It would mess with inventory. It wasn't a fun process. It wasn't hard. It was just annoying. And customers would keep doing this. And I remember one customer explaining to me why she does it, and she was like, "Oh, well, you know, my cat will only ever eat this one flavor, and if they don't get what they want, then they'll go on a hunger strike." And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, cool. You know why your cat's on a hunger strike? Your cat goes on a hunger strike because it knows said flavor exists. If you feed them the same flavor their entire life, it's likely that's the only thing they'll know, and that's the only thing that they care to eat. If you give them a variety, they will know that there are other options, and that's going to drive you up a wall because now you're going to end up wasting food because they're not going to eat the things you put out. So you are now losing money because you're letting your cat be a spoiled little SOB. Like, I've had people... I remember I had these 2 women, and apparently, I forgot what they told me. They had 70 stray cats and like 20 stray dogs living in their house. I'm like, how do you care for all those animals? I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love animals. That's why I was working in animal care in the first place. But I'm looking at these people like, how do you... Like, there's a difference between loving animals and damn near being a detriment to your own health. Like, I can't imagine them properly taking care of all those animals. Only the 2 of them, too. Like, it just blew my mind. And yeah, I remember I had this one woman we used to call No-Nose because her nose was all messed up, and she was a mean person anyway, so we really didn't care. Her kid, she had no control over. Kid ran over, took the fishing net that we used to get the fish out of the, out of the tanks, took it out of the bucket and whacked my coworker in the face with it. She didn't say sorry or anything. She just picked up the kid and ran. The kid very often would annoy the fish, like tap on the glass, and she wouldn't stop him. He would scare the other animals too, and bother the birds. And again, the mom wouldn't say nothing. She would just let him do this. And Staples was interesting, right? I eventually went to Staples. I was at GameStop, like I said. I was also at Staples for a while. I left Petco because a buddy of mine got me into Staples because I really didn't want to put up with the crazy cat people anymore, the crazy animal people. Also, not to mention, but Petco was like a cult when I went there. If you weren't with them, you were against them. That's how the assistant store leader was, and I often was not treated the best. I remember one coworker accidentally intentionally admitted that the assistant store leader was trying to annoy me as much as possible to get me to quit. Which eventually got her way because a buddy of mine got me into Staples and I quit. I went there as a certified tech. And, I would have never expected Staples to be like this, but they're very heavy on sales figures. Like, they don't care what computer you sell or how many computers you sell. They care about the protection plans. They care about protection plans on literally everything. Furniture, computers, laptops, hard drives, fire sticks, light bulbs. If a protection plan can be slapped on it, they'll slap a protection plan on it. And my boss was really on my rear end about it. I had this other boss named Karen, go figure. And her whole thing was deferred financing. For those of you that don't know, deferred financing is basically Staples' credit card. It's a credit card. That's what it is. And I remember explicitly telling my boss, I'm like, you do realize, Karen, no one is going to buy this. Nobody wants it because anybody in our area that lives here, well, we're a low-income area. If you live here, you're in debt. That's basically what it is. Nobody wants to be deeper in debt. And she goes, Nick, no, it's not a credit card. It's deferred financing. I'm like, okay, so explain to me how deferred financing works. Well, you use the card now. The company loans you money for the transaction. And then you pay it back over time. Oh, really? So like how when I take my credit card, I plug it in. The bank basically gives me a loan in a sense, and then I pay that back over time. So the credit card and deferred financing are the same. And she just kind of looked at me like, shut up. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's deferred financing and credit cards are the same freaking thing. Shut up. And she would always get annoyed when we couldn't get people on credit cards. The reason why is because the way it would work is if you sign up for the credit card and you used it right there in the transaction, the company would take $50 off your first transaction. Right? But you had to use the credit card in the first place. So I get the idea. Say you spend $300, you get $50 off on your, on the bill, but lo and behold, now you have to pay interest all on what you paid. So the reality is you're probably paying more than that $50, so the company's making its money back and then some. And on top of that, the $50 off is a one-time deal. So if you continue to use that, then you're going to end up giving them more money. So, yeah, they're making money off interest. That's what they're doing. Anyway, I remember after how many months of this lady driving us nuts with this. The whole nonsense deferred financing, which drove me insane. I remember she decided to take the reins and show me how easy it was to get a customer to sign up for this credit card. This fantastic deferred financing, right? So she goes up to the customer, and so far it seemed like the transaction was going good for her. And I was actually a little surprised. I'm like, okay, maybe. And she's like, oh yeah, you get $50 off the transaction. It's great. You get the deferred financing. So the woman's like, oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Now, as she's ringing up, my boss goes, okay, cool. So it's gonna be $250. The lady looked. I'm sorry, it was $300. That's what it was. And the lady looks and goes, but I thought you said it would be $50 off. Shouldn't it be $250? She goes, no. It's $300 now, but the credit card company will take $50 off your first bill. Oh, I don't want this. I'm like, there you go. That's why it fails. I don't want this. You told me $50 off, and they're going to take it off the bill. How do I know you're going to give me $50 off? This is ridiculous. No, I don't want that. And she's just going on. I'm looking at my boss with the biggest grin on my face like, oh, it's not so easy, is it? So, Yeah, after that day, I stopped hearing about the magical deferred financing and how wonderful it is. But this woman was the kind of person that would basically live corporate's word like it was the Bible. She drove me absolutely insane. She was also the type that, like, if you didn't take your break, she'd get mad at you. But then if she found that you were on break, she'd get mad at you. After a while, we pieced together why that was the case. And the reason why was because what she was doing herself, she would go on break, which, mind you, this is illegal. She'd punch out for a break and then get right back to work. And that's what she wanted us to do. She wanted us to punch out for a break and go right back to work while on break. And then eventually punch back in from break. So she wanted us to work on our breaks. She wanted us to work for free. That's what she wanted us to do. Naturally, none of us did that because that's stupid. And none of us cared about our jobs that much that we wanted to work on our breaks. But yeah, eventually my store leader and district leader all got terminated for dirty dealings within the company. So I quit that job realizing that she would have been my boss. So I got out of there as quickly as possible. And from there on, I was solidly at GameStop for another 4 years, I'd say. I know the amusement park place I worked at for
Kind of funny about this one.
about 2 years. What was it? Pet supplies was another year or two. Tech-Nickal and GameStop. GameStop total was like 5 to 6 years, if I remember correctly. I'm going off memory here. I think I started in 2016 with GameStop. Then Petco, I only worked a couple months because I think I worked 6 months there. Staples, I worked about 1.5 to 2 years, and now I'm at the other place. But yeah, from there on, GameStop, I was there about 6 years during Petco and Staples. So I did both those jobs while I did my time at GameStop. And I didn't do all three at the same time. Oh, God. No, when I was doing Petco and GameStop, that was a nightmare because I was working about 60 hours a week and I wanted to die. At least between GameStop and Staples, I was maybe working 20 to 40 hours a week. So it wasn't as bad, you know what I mean? So what ended up happening at one point with GameStop, I got promoted. I went from being what they call a GA, which is a guest advisor or game advisor. I always get the two mixed up. And I went to being a senior game advisor. My first store I was there for about 2 years. I got promoted to senior guest advisor, went to my second store for promotion, right? Because they needed to train me, so they put me to a slower store. I was there for about maybe a year, 2 years before I got promoted to ASL. Well, that was because, okay, I'm kind of stumbling. So what happened was, when lockdown had triggered, right, the store did really bad after the fact, and we were open maybe a few months after that, and then they closed our store. I took the opportunity to leave because I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I saw that the company was going down. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. I thought I was going to find a better job, maybe go to school. That never happened, so I quit. And I really needed a job, so I ended up going back to GameStop, to a different store this time around. And I got the assistant store leader spot. Then what ended up happening was I quit that job for another job, thinking I was going to get the other job. And that didn't work out, so I was without a job for a while, and now here I am at the shoe store. So that's how that all happened. I'd say Staples, the biggest problem with that one was really just sales. I know I'm going backwards. It was just really sales numbers. Customers really only got bad during the back-to-school sales. That's when it got bad. That was bad. The back-to-school sales, you had very angry parents. You had your flavors of Karen. I'm about to lose somebody right now. I need to kill it. That beast. We just lost one. I need my machine. Oh, my weapons are down. That guy's dead. Yep, okay. Yeah, that's about what I figured. But yeah, That's about what you had to deal with. Oh, and I hated corporate for the fact that we would have something called the bus tour, which the bus tour was basically they would bring in all of their money people. Pretty much anybody who was what was it? They're investors. That's what it was. And it basically you just had to stroke them off a little bit. Hi guys, thank you for coming to Staples. Let me just rub you off a little bit and finger the top. But yeah, that's what Staples was. It wasn't fun. GameStop was really stressful with sales numbers. And now this job is just really annoying with customers. Because for some reason, none of my customers seem to know what they want. And they'll ask for the same thing in multiple times. Or they'll refer to one thing as another thing. Like, I've heard them say slip-ins and then easies. And, like, they'll say 3 different names for the same shoe, thinking that it's different things. It gets really annoying and really aggravating very quickly. And I would very much like it if customers didn't do that, but it is what it is, right? Overall, what I'm trying to say is, especially for those of you lads who maybe are looking for work yourselves, never expect anything dealing with customers to be easy. There is never a such thing as easy in customer service. Every job is going to have something that will drive you insane. It may be customers, it might be children, it might be sales. Maybe it's crazy cat ladies. One way or another, every job you work will have a quirk about it that makes you want to put your head through a wall. And that's just customer service in general. That's just the reality of the job. If you can live with that, more power to you. If that's not something that you can deal with, my advice to you would be go do trade school. Either trade school or college. Personally, I'm looking at trade school myself, so no shame in that. Honestly, trade school might yield more money. Like, I'm looking to do HVAC, and so far from the things I've been hearing, HVAC seems to be very enticing. So, consider that. Maybe electrician, plumbing. Again, nothing wrong with those. Those are great professions. But anyway, lads, that is where I'm going to leave this one for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed my rambling, if you enjoy my nonsense, please feel free to leave some kind of activity on this video, as it helps out tremendously with the channel. It helps keep us alive and well within Comrade Susan's new YouTube, and it keeps the channel from pretty much just dying overnight. And I really do appreciate the help. If you want to come hang out with me and talk more about random nonsense and just have a good time and chat and game, follow the link in the description below for our Discord, where we do little community events, we hang out. Everyone is welcome. All you gotta do is just be a nerd and have a good time. I will see you guys around the next one. Thank you everyone so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic night.